Hello, I'm John Carroll. Welcome to episode 7 of Personally Branded. Good to be back with you. Now, last week, for those of you who watched episode 6, we were taking a look at the perceptions you have about yourself and the perceptions you believe other people have about you. And I set you a couple of exercises that I suggested that you do, seeing yourself in terms of a car and what sort of car you would be. And if you did those, great, we're going to build on that today. If you didn't do them or you didn't see episode 6, it doesn't matter, you'll still get some value out of today. Although I would recommend that you go back to episode 6 and have a look, because those exercises are quite fun and they are useful in helping you to really get to grips with what we're talking about in here, which is your personal brand, who you are as an individual, what drives you, what motivates you, what gives you meaning, and what will give you a real sense of fulfillment and enjoyment and satisfaction and meaning in your everyday life. So, what I'd like you to do now is think about the notes that you made, or think about the perceptions that you have about yourself. How do you see yourself? And think about that in relation to what you believe your purpose in life is, which is what we looked at in the first 2 episodes of this series. So think about that and try to see if there's a correlation between the two, between the way you see yourself and the purpose you see for yourself in life. Let me give you an example to help to explain this. Let's take the example of someone who is working, say, as a cleaner in a hospital or in a medical facility. Now, that person may have decided that their purpose in life is really to help sick and injured people. But at the moment they're a cleaner. So they don't perhaps see themselves as entirely fulfilling that purpose, although of course they are, by cleaning the hospital, cleaning the rooms, etc., etc. Of course that's helping sick and injured people, but they may want to be a bit more hands-on on that. So let's assume that the way they see themselves is as a caring, compassionate person. Of course, there's an obvious and immediate link there between their purpose of helping sick and injured people and their perception of themselves as being a caring and compassionate person. But it's quite possible in a situation like that the people around them, particularly work colleagues, bosses, supervisors, etc., may not really see that caring and compassionate side of them. They may see them as someone who does the mundane job of cleaning the rooms. Now, the two don't necessarily tie together in terms of that person's purpose. You know, someone who's seen as a cleaner isn't necessarily seen by the organization as someone who could give care to sick and injured people. So clearly, there's some sort of discrepancy there. Obviously, in a situation like that, what that person would need to do is to take a look at it and say, well, one of the first things I'm going to have to do if I really want to live my life purpose is I've got to get myself some extra qualifications, some skills and abilities, perhaps enroll for a nursing diploma or whatever it may be, or undertake training as a carer so they can actually get more hands-on in dealing with the patients and therefore live more true to what they believe is their life purpose. That's fine. If that's the sort of situation you're in, you need to get qualifications and skills, then hopefully this sort of exercise would have helped you to see that. Maybe you would have seen it already. But what I'm really talking about here is not so much skills and abilities. It's more about who you are as an individual, your personality, your character, what it is that builds you and drives you, and how you project that to other people. Because really in life, it's less about the pieces of paper we hold and more about who we are as a person. Albert Einstein once said, and I've quoted this before, Albert Einstein once said, "Try not to be a person of success, but rather a person of value." And I think that's very, very true. Having said that, sometimes pieces of paper are necessary. And sometimes we've got to go through the little bit of pain that it might take to gain that qualification. If that's the case, go out and do it. And we'll be talking in the next episode a little bit about what can help you to do that, give you that self-drive and that determination and keep you on track so you can gain qualifications like that. But let's continue with what we're talking about today. So try to find some correlation between the perceptions that you have about yourself, the perceptions that other people have about you, and your life purpose. So there's a triangle there. How do you see yourself? How do other people see you? And what do you see as your purpose in life? And is there a link between the three? If there isn't, where's the breakdown? Where's the gap? If you can identify that, you can find ways to fix the gap, to break the gap, and therefore to close it all up and make it all one whole, because that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for a whole. We're aiming to get synergy out of this. Synergy is where the sum of the parts is greater than, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. That's synergy. And that's what we're looking for. To get to that point, you need to fully understand yourself. You need to have the way you see yourself in line with what you believe your purpose in life to really be, what it is that gives you meaning. You need to really understand that, and that needs to be in line with how you see yourself, but it also needs to be in line with the way other people see you. Because you need the support and the help and the caring and simply the assistance of other people to help you get to where you need to go. Sometimes your boss needs to see you in a certain way before they may see you as eligible for another role, for a promotion, for example. So, look at that triangle. Look at that triangle of things and see what the relationships are between those three corners of that triangle. Where's the breakdown? What can you do to fix it? Now, having looked at that, where we're going to go from here is to say, okay, well, let's take that. If you know what sort of things you've got to do to fix that breakdown, let's work on that and get that fixed. While you're doing that, and while you're working on that, there are other things that you can be doing. You can be considering things like how you currently project yourself to other people. Is the way that you relate to other people consistent with the way you want them to see you? For example, if you work in an office type environment, you're an office worker, but you are quite sloppy in the way you dress. You're scruffy, your shirt's always hanging out if you're a guy, your shoes aren't polished, but you're looking for promotion up to some sort of supervisory or managerial level. As much as it pains me to say it, initial perceptions and our outward appearance, the surface of us, is important in some circumstances, such as looking for a promotion or a career move. It is important. The way people see us is crucial to what they think goes on inside our heads. We do judge a book by its cover. And if you think about it, I'm sure you will do that to other people. Most of us do. So, you need to fix those little things about yourself as well. If you're finding that the way people see you is not the way you want them to see you, they're not perceiving you as that real managerial, as having managerial talent, for example. Excuse me. You need to consider the outward appearance as well as what's going on inside your head and what you're saying, how you communicate with them. Do you communicate in a positive manner? Do you talk to people in a way that demonstrates that you have skill, you have ability, you're knowledgeable about certain areas? Don't fake this. Don't pretend you're knowledgeable about things you're not, because that'll be seen through very quickly. You all know people who know everything about everything, and it's really annoying. So I'm not suggesting you do that. But if you are knowledgeable in an area, be prepared to share that knowledge. Don't think, well, I'll keep this to myself because that way, you know, if I tell other people, they might use it and they might get the promotion ahead of me. So what I'll do, I'll keep it to myself and then no one else will know how to do this. That is a recipe for disaster. The people who are going to get ahead in this world are the people, as Einstein said, who provide value rather than look for success. So provide value. Use the knowledge, the abilities, the talents that you have. Use them to help other people. Use them to help the organization. Use them to show in a job interview how you can help the organization with your skills, knowledge, talent, abilities. You have to demonstrate that. That's crucial. But as I said, you also have to look the part. So, work with all of that. Try and wrap all of that together. What I want you to end up with here is a package that hangs together. What's inside your head, what's inside the head of other people, and the way you look, the way you talk, all of it hangs together as a consistent, cohesive package. then synergy starts to work. That's really important. If you can get to grips with all of those aspects of yourself and pull them into one cohesive whole, you have far more chance of living that meaningful, fulfilling life that you want to live, because you'll see yourself the right way, other people will see you the right way, and what will happen if you provide value through your abilities and talents and knowledge, and you have that, believe me, you know you do. If you provide that value, it will get you ahead. It will. It may take time, but you will get there. So, let me leave you with that. I'll be with you again next week when we're going to start talking a little bit more about how to really pull all this together and how to consistently live out this feeling of purpose, of satisfaction, of fulfillment. It takes self-discipline. It takes developing habits in yourself that are going to make you successful. We'll talk more about that next week. Thank you for being with me. I'm John Carroll. See you on the next episode of Personally Branded.